we're going to review about how to go between a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. All right, so now we need to know a percent is the ratio of a number to 100. And a percent, this is our percent sign. And it's the symbol that literally means out of 100. So if we wanted to write 28% as a fraction in simplest form, we know we can write ratios as fractions. So this would be 28 out of 100. And then it says in simplest form. So we would reduce this. And I know 4 can go into 28 and 100 evenly. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 4 to simplify it. 28 divided by 4 is 7. 100 divided by 4 is 25. And this is now 28% in simplest form. Write 17% as a decimal. There are two different things we could do here. You can either turn it into a fraction, then divide it. Remember, top dog goes in the house. Or you can simply move the decimal point 2 places to the left. We're going to go through both ways so that way you can see. So 17% out of 100 means that we would do 17 divided by 100. 100 can go into 1 0 times. 100 can go into 17 0 times. So I'm going to add a decimal and a 0. 100 can go into 170 one time. 1 times 100 is 100. So that gives me 70. Again, I have to add another 0 to keep solving. Well, now 100 can go into 700 7 times. And 7 times 100 is 700. And we see we're finished solving. So 17% as a decimal is equal to 0.17 or 1700ths. Now our other trick was to simply move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So we're at 17%. When you move a decimal, you always start at the end of the number if you don't have a decimal currently there. We move 1, 2, we put our decimal, and again we see that's equal to 0.17 or 1700ths. Now if we want to write 3/10, 0.3 as a percent, you can move the decimal point 2 places to the right and add a percent sign, or you can write the decimal as a fraction with a denominator of 100, then change it to a percent. So again, I'm going to show you both ways. To move the decimal point 2 places to the right and then add a percent sign, so it's 3/10, we move it 1, 2. Notice there's a gap here, so I fill that with a 0. Okay, and then we put our percent sign. So 3/10 is equivalent to 30%. Now, we talked about proportions last week. Okay, 3/10. Okay, we want to know what percent out of 100 is that. Okay, so then we can cross multiply. And I get 10x and 300. And so then we have 300 is equal to 10x. If I divide by 10, then again I see x is equal to 30%. So to go from a decimal to a percent, you can move the decimal point 2 places to the right and add a percent sign. Or you can write your decimal as a fraction and then figure out what that fraction would be equivalent to with a denominator of 100, since percents are always out of 100. Now we're going to change a fraction into a percent. So the way we do this is we divide it out, meaning we do 5 divided by 8, okay, and then move the decimal 2 places to the right. So there are a couple of different ways I'm going to show this. We can do 5/8, and like our notes say, we can do 5 divided by 8. Well, 8 can go into 5 0 times, so again I have to put my decimal into 0. Extend our bar. 8 can go into 50, say 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. Subtracting it to 2, again, we have to add a 0 and keep solving. 8 can go into 20 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtracting it 4, we're not finished solving, we're going to keep going. And 8 can go into 40 5 times. So 5 times 8 is 40. We have fully solved this decimal, but notice it wants a percent. Okay, so the way I do this is I move my decimal 2 places to the right. So 625 thousandths is equivalent to, move it 2 places to the right and put my decimal, 62.5%. Now another way to look at this is to say 5 out of 8 is equal to x out of 100, because percents are always out of 100. Okay, and so this is a similar proportion. We cross multiply. 5 times 100 is 500. 8 times x is 8x. So we set our cross products equal to each other. And we divide. When we divide 500 divided by 8, we get 62.5%. I hope this helps you convert easily between fractions, decimals, and percents, and helps you move on to our further, more complex percent problems.